Hyundai Tucson since 2015. Hello everyone! Regardless of the transmission, a used Tucson is sure to show up in front of a potential buyer in the best possible way. The paintwork is not the most durable, but there is no doubt about the resistance of the body metal to corrosion. Even on the first cars, chips look like they just formed. But in our conditions, chrome parts are quickly surrendered. After the first winter, the coating becomes cloudy and even swells. The issue can only be resolved by replacement. Not without congenital source, a weak hood lock. If the lid began to close poorly, a replacement is needed, which was usually done free of charge on warranty machines. Windshield and rear washer nozzles are also at risk. They were also updated under warranty. However, these details are worth a penny, but if you want to install additional sound insulation, you will have to spend money. However, at the same time, there are not so few who want to calm down their crossover. Although I would not call the standard Tucson too noisy, but the owners complain about periodically burning fog lights. As a rule, they need to be changed at least once a year. Sometimes there are malfunctions in the operation of the central lock and multimedia. What cannot be said about the engines? The base 2-liter 4-scenes with scuffing of the cylinder piston group due to insufficient oil level or with the failure of the catalyst. Therefore, if you make it a rule to control the amount of oil in the engine, then problems will not happen. Another thing is the faulty neutralizer. As soon as you feel something is wrong, and this can happen already at 50 to 80,000 kilometers, immediately make a replacement. The working part of the catalyst consists of ceramic honeycombs. Collapsing small particles of ceramics are sucked into the engine, as if scratching the cylinder walls with emery. As a result, an expensive motor repair or even a block replacement. Moreover, this concerns the 1.6-liter turbo engine to a lesser extent, partly because he hasn't yet managed to acquire complete statistical faults. Even the turbocharger hasn't been compromised itself in any way, but some Tucsons have already run under a couple of 100,000 kilometers. Most custom reforms have a change in the timing drive. Its service life is about 200,000 kilometers, and cases of premature stretching have not yet been recorded. But it is highly likely that in the 4th or 5th year of life, custom engine will begin to sweat with oil due to cracked seals and seals. The engines do not have the usual gasket. All attachments are placed on the sealant, and he tends to dry out. The turbo diesel has the same problem. In general, the motor is reliable. The timing drive also has a chain with a resource of 250,000 kilometers. Filling high-quality fuel, change oil and filters according to the regulation, and the engine will last a very long time. And do not forget to let the engine idle for 2 to 3 minutes after a long operation to cool the turbine bearings or set a turbo timer. But the 7-speed dual-clutch DST robot cannot be called trouble-free. Even on relatively fresh copper, the box can stutter and twitch in traffic jams. Although this is not a reason for urgent repairs. Usually by 150,000 kilometers, a careful driver will have to change the clutch kit or actuator block. The main procedure that extends the life of the robot is the regular oil change every 40,000 to 60,000 kilometers. And in the mechanical box, after hundreds of thousands of kilometers, it is sometimes difficult to turn on third gear due to premature wear of the synchronizers. It is enough to change the oil in the manual gearbox after 90,000 kilometers, and the 6-band automatic requires this 1.5 to 2 times more often. In fact, the AKP is reputed to be indestructible and has a decent resource. There are cases when the box snores more than 350,000 kilometers. A careful attitude will also preserve the health of the electronic clutch that connects the rear wheels when the front wheels slip. Suspension costs also depend on how you ride, although some elements initially do not have a long service life. For example, shock absorbers begin to leak at 50,000 to 70,000 kilometers. Moreover, instead of a standard spare part, it is better to put in an original part of a well-known brand. Some complain about hub bearings holding at 50,000 kilometers. Around the same time, the bearings of the front struts may creak when the steering wheel is turned, but the creak of the brake mechanics occurs when the rear caliper is wedged, a Tucson signature throw. Usually craftsmen manage to develop mechanism using auto-chemistry, but if the disease is running, you will have to buy a new caliper assembly. After that replacement, the stabilizer struts every 50,000 kilometers seems to be a completely natural event. As you can see, a used Tucson can be recommended before purchase, especially at such a young age. To be completely safe from unpleasant surprises, avoid modification with a DCT box, and versions with 2-liter engine, especially diesel ones, and generally considered trouble-free. If you have had such a motor, share information about what and how it breaks in the comments.